Hello, beautiful souls. Today's episode is so good. And before we jump in, I have some exciting news to share. If you've ever wondered where you're blocking money, this is for you. I've created a free quiz to diagnose your money wounds so you can heal them and unblock yourself to receive more money. Just go to moneywoundsquiz.com and answer 6 quick questions to get your insanely accurate and potent results. And if you're loving my vibe and want to work one-on-one to call in more feminine energy wealth, I would love to hear from you. You can shoot me a DM on social media or go to emilywilcox.com to learn more. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the M Makes Money show. This is the show where I will be sharing all of my celebrations and happenings from March. So it's actually the last day of March right now. So we've still got some more hours of magic left in this month. But given my track record of delaying these celebration recaps and posts, I'm just going to do it now and talk to you about how I'm actually staying in the vibe of magic and miracles today on this last day of March. So March is such a beautiful month in my family because it's both of my kids' birthdays. And a good friend of mine, we used to be in a mastermind together. Her name is Jillian Bolands. She sends out an email every month around the full moon, and she's got some beautiful full moon journal prompts that are not just your traditional, what are you releasing kind of a thing. And when the full moon happened in March, one of her journal prompts was to think back to what you were doing at that time last year. So in March of 2021, because I think something about the full moon in March of 2022, it was like completing a lunar cycle. And at first I was like, man, what was I doing last March? I don't know. Nothing. Like my mind was completely blank. And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, well, my kids' birthdays are in March. So, okay, last March, Faye would have been turning 6. JJ was turning 3. What were we doing? And immediately I could see this image in my head of Faye blowing out birthday candles on this custom birthday cake that I had made that was ladybug and cat noir themed. And she was sitting at the kitchen table, but not the kitchen table in our current house. It was the kitchen table in our old house. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's right. A year ago, I was not in this incredible dream home. We were in our other house. Holy smokes. And that opened the floodgate for me. I realized that last March, just after the kids' birthdays, I paid in full for a year of Alpha Femme experience with my coach, Melanie and Lair. So I paid her $15,555 all in one shot. 2 days later, our dream home hit the market. The moment I opened that email, I knew that house was meant to be ours. When I clicked on the listing and started scrolling through the images, it was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Everything about this house is a yes. It has everything that we want. We put in an application, we got to see it, and like in a matter of days, we knew that it was ours. And so then last March, I was preparing for a move. The other thing that's so significant from March 2021 is that that was when I officially started my coaching business. So here I am in March 2022, celebrating a year of coaching, celebrating my kids' birthdays, celebrating that we've now been in our home for almost a year. Like each of these things feels so special and significant. And the fact that they all culminate together in 1 month, honestly, it just blows me away. Like I cried with that realization. It blows me away. God is so good. Like the co-creation of my life is so good. So March 2022, what am I celebrating? Okay, I will start with the numbers. So in total, We are sitting at $72,815 cash collected. That represents $7,633 from the e-com, $50,038 from the agency, and $15,144 from coaching. As I mentioned, there is still a lot of day left. Now, the really cool thing is that when I looked at the lifetime numbers for my coaching business, I'm sitting at 95,501, which, holy smokes, it totally blows me away that a business that didn't even exist a year ago, that relies on having an audience that knows you, likes you, trusts you, and wants to send you thousands of dollars so that they can work with you. None of that existed a year ago. And the fact that I was able to build it to around six figures, around $100,000 in revenue, in cash collected on a very part-time basis, while still managing multiple seven-figure businesses outside of my coaching, just completely blows me away. So that'll probably be its own podcast episode, if I'm being honest. But it made me think, like, well, what if today was a $5,000 day? Like, that would put me over $100,000 for the year. Ooh, what would be so fun to sell that would be $5,000? And so effortlessly this morning, a few time-sensitive specials, 3 of them to be exact, flowed through me. And I've offered them to my audience. In fact, I'll probably send an email about it today as well. Just making a little note for myself to do that. Whether or not someone buys, I'm still an energetic match for it. That's something that I want you to know. Like, we sometimes get really hung up on the technicalities. And the truth is, 95K, 100K, they're really not that different. I'm an energetic match for it either way. And how fun would it be if someone decided to pay me $5,000 today, and then they get to be in my world and we get to make magic together? The results that my clients are getting are unreal. And it is such a joy to do this work. I love it so much. So huge, huge, huge March celebrations happening here, just from a financial perspective. What else? What else? Okay. In March, I also celebrated 365 street parking workouts. So Street Parking is a company that does like CrossFit style workouts that you can do at home. And so they sent me some free swag, a free special tank top, because I've logged 365 workouts with them. So I've been doing street parking now for a couple of years. Like, we started during the pandemic, and it's not the tank top, right? It's what it represents. It represents my consistency, my devotion to my body and my health, my willingness to show up, my change in mindset to all or something, and allowing some effort to be enough, even if it maybe the weights weren't as heavy as they should have been one day, or I didn't do all the rounds of the workout. Like, it all still gets to count. And celebrating 365 workouts is pretty incredible. My Jude dude, my little JJ boy, turned 4. We went to Chuck E. Cheese for his birthday because that's his favorite spot to be. We got to celebrate the heck out of him. I made him a homemade ice cream cake. And then my daughter, Faye, turned 7, and we did a special little get together with 3 of her good friends. And we watched a new movie that was released. We were going to go to the movie theater, but it turned out that the movie that was available at the time for her age range is called Turning Red, and they released it directly onto Disney Plus. So we had the girls over here. We made like movie theater style snacks. They got to play, and then they got to watch a movie. So I feel like 7 is such a special age because I have memories from when I was 7. And so it's like I just know how important these years are. Like, there's still such innocence, but also such understanding. some of these memories that we're making together, she's going to have her whole life, which feels extra special. So those are really fun moments in March. It's also my dad's birthday in March, and my father-in-law, who is no longer in his body. So lots and lots of people that we celebrate, lots of Pisces. I also ordered an incredible product for my coaching business. I can't tell you what it is yet because I don't want to ruin the surprise. I literally just got them 2 days ago, and I'm going to send them to all of my mastermind and one-on-one clients first. But they're also going to be a special time-sensitive incentive for people who take the Money Wounds quiz and then purchase Money Wound medicine. So if you've been hearing me talk about this Money Wounds quiz in my podcast intro, but you've never taken it, now is the time. You've never been more incentivized. I promise you, you want to take this quiz. You want to tune into the 4 days of emails that you get that teach you about money wound healing. And then there's a time-sensitive gift for you, and you will get to find out what it is. And you can enroll in Money Wound Medicine, which is my signature program. It's so incredible. Okay. So actually, on that note, I totally up-leveled my Money Wound quiz automations in the month of March. So it used to just be that you'd take the quiz and you would get an email with your results, and that was it. Now you get 4 days of emails. You get your quiz results. Then you, the next day, get an email about the number one money wound that blocks money from you. The next day, you get an email that has a video in it where I teach a little bit about the money wound that's blocking you from your next wealth up level. And then on the following day, you get this special time-sensitive offer. So that all felt so fun to put in place. In March, I'm also celebrating signups for my retreats. I'm doing 2 Rise retreats this year, one in April and one in October. Of course, there's limited spots available because we all stay together in a luxury accommodation. So the fact that I already have signups for both of those feels amazing. I've had clients inquiring about retreats that say that they've learned about me from this podcast. That also feels amazing, because sometimes the funny thing about this podcast is like I sort of forget that there's people listening to it, and that there might be people that I don't even know that are listening to it. In fact, I'm sure there are, but it's so hard for my brain to wrap my head around that I honestly just forget that that's even a possibility. So it feels like such a fun surprise when someone jumps into my DMs and is like, I've been loving your podcast so much and I want to go on a retreat with you. It's like, what? That is amazing. I also had a new one-on-one client in the month of March. And oh my gosh, she's such a dream client. I absolutely love her. So thank you. I receive more, please, universe. I set up a team Facebook account for Team Emily Wilcox. So I'm feeling very professional, up in my game there. I delivered an incredible Fempire program. So in Fempire is all about embodying the feminine energy CEO. So I taught on things like new paradigm leadership, boundaries, your schedule, how to stay more in your feminine energy and have your team be in their masculine energy, how to hire the right people, how to delegate to them, just all the good stuff that's required if you really want to build a Fempire. If you don't just want to be a coach or a consultant or a freelancer, but you really want to build something bigger than you, if you have a 7-figure vision, it's important to nail this stuff, because you can only get so far, on your own doing all the things. I also delivered an incredible 3-day masterclass called Sacred Structure. We just wrapped that up yesterday. And oh my gosh, all of the breakthroughs and realizations coming out of that masterclass are just blowing my mind as well. I'm super grateful. This month, I did a trade show for our agency called Expo West, where all the food and beverage and natural product brands put on an incredible display of free samples, delicious food, incredible booths, and just an overall jovial atmosphere. I think people were so happy to be in person after, 2 years of the pandemic. I also last week had one of our salespeople unexpectedly quit from our agency. And so I had the opportunity to kind of jump back in and roll up my sleeves and get a little more involved in some of the day to day. And, although it's making my schedule a little busier than I would like, I'm having a lot of fun with it. It is fun to jump into the day to day. And I've generated $120,000 in sales just plugging my magic into what's already working really well at our agency. So anytime we're able to bring on new aligned brands where I just know that we're going to help them make millions more on Amazon and get their products into the hands of more customers that are going to have a fantastic experience, it's just really exciting. And this week is my kids' spring break. Whew. So what a month. What a month, We went and saw Sing 2 as a Monday matinee at the movie theater. On Tuesday, we went to Disneyland, met another family there, and had, a super fun full day at Disney. Yesterday, we just did more of the normal routine. The kids are at ninja camp in the morning, and then they had their ice skating lessons in the afternoon. So it's definitely been a bit of a mama juggle, not just mama, daddy too. But we've been juggling, our work with our kids not being in school. For the most part, it's been fun to kind of shake up the routine. We have such a good routine in our household that really supports us, but it is nice every once in a while to just turn it on its head and have everybody get a little different experience. So I'm really grateful for it. I am holding all the what if vibes for the next 12 hours of March to be so magical, so mind-blowing, and just making myself really receptive and really open to magic and miracles. So I invite you to do the same. It does not matter what month it is when you listen to this. Can you make the rest of today an opportunity for life to surprise and delight you? Can you allow yourself to be open to magic and miracles? Now, why don't we do this more often? We don't do this more often because when we're playing with the what if vibe, that means what if yes? And the what if yes feels really good. But what if no? Oh. And if I allow myself to be excited for the what if yes, and then it doesn't happen, gosh, then I'm going to feel so disappointed. Oh, I don't like feeling disappointed. So part of playing in the what if vibes is knowing that you can walk yourself through disappointment, choosing to allow yourself to be excited, to be open to possibilities, knowing that if it doesn't happen and if you feel disappointed, that you can navigate that and you can walk yourself through it. Especially for women, our disappointment wounds run deep. Often in childhood, there were these moments when we really wanted something to happen and it didn't happen. We really thought we were going to get something for our birthday and we didn't get it. We really thought we were going to get to do a sleepover with our best friend and she invited someone else instead. We have these things that crush our souls. The disappointment is so heavy that we think, well, I am never going to let myself get hurt like that again. I never want to feel disappointed like that. So I'm just going to adjust my expectations accordingly. And often we live decades of our lives from that protection mechanism. So if this is resonating for you, there's a real opportunity for you to visualize that hurt inner child that's scared of feeling disappointment and just wrap her up with so much love and let her know that you got her and that you can handle it, but that there's so much amazing, incredible life experience available that it's worth getting excited about the possibility, even if it means that you also have to taste and touch disappointment. I hope your March has been just as incredible and fantastic as mine has been, if not more so. I love you. I hope that April brings even more magic and miracles to all of us. And I will talk to you soon. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to today's show. Changing the way we think, feel, and talk about money will change the world. I truly believe that. It starts with you tuning in, and it spreads when you share this show on Instagram and Facebook and tag me at mmakesmoney. And you know what moves the needle the most? Taking just a minute to leave a 5-star review on iTunes. This show isn't free to produce, so let's multiply those dollars invested to help this show reach a bigger audience each week. Thank you so much for your help. I really appreciate it. And lastly, if you want more connection, more M Makes Money style riffs, and a safe place on the internet to talk about money, jump into my free Facebook group, The Money Club. It's linked in the show notes. Until next time, I'm wishing you health, happiness, and boatloads of money.